even ripped out some of his dreadlocks.
How strong and angry you gotta be to rip out a fucking lock? Yo, what's good with y'all? It's Jav. We back with another reaction. So today's video about reacting for the Predators. Can I even say that on here? I said it anyway. The Predators that society loves. I feel like the reason why a lot of these celebrities get loved is because, let's do some of these rappers for example, like some of these serial killers rappers, right? The only reason we say free them is because they make good music. If it was a regular person on the street, y'all would not be saying free them. It's because they don't have nothing to do with them. Like, let's say a rapper killed your brother. You're not about to be saying free that nigga even though if he's your favorite rapper. I believe it's because people put these celebrities on a pedestal. They think they can't do anything wrong, so they're going to go ahead and try to forgive them. But at the end of the day, these are regular people. What's there tape on my finger? But yeah, at the end of the day, these are regular people who can do regular shit. And I feel like they should be held accountable, not because they have a different status than everybody else. But yeah, let's get around to it. My camera on?
Good job, Chris. Happy birthday, my guy. Yeah, excuse me, sir.
God damn, nigga got an entourage of bitches. I mean, woman. Damn, is she? God damn.
Being a celebrity at that level has to be such a crazy experience, because imagine that many people following you around, trying to prey on your wealth and success, doing anything they can to attract you.
That's another thing too, bro. Like, y'all know there's not a lot of, well, most rappers don't really make a lot of money as they appear, bro. It's like, especially in the street music genre, bro, like niggas will drop what they doing. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. If that's the route y'all want to go, that's cool. But it's like, why not do your own shit? Bro, he has a platform. He's giving you a platform. You don't gotta be around a nigga 24/7. If the nigga see you, if that's your mans and he really, get the fuck out of my face. If that's your mans and he really mess with you, right? I'm like, okay, he's rapping, he got the limelight, whatever. You do something. If that nigga fuck with you, he gonna try to put you on.
But at the same time, none of it being genuine. That clip you just saw was of Chris Brown either going to or leaving an event and being followed by a multitude of fangirls, women, groupies, whatever you want to call them.
Right. This club is where we going, bro. This guy crazy.
This dumbass went down
You saw in that clip
same.
LeBron James going down an escalator that's going up, and he did all that to avoid these groupies. These ladies have no shame whatsoever. And keep in mind, LeBron James and Savannah James' marriage is as public as it gets. They know that this is,
I mean, they don't give a fuck about that. They just try to go for there to see what they can gain out of it. It's crazy because how you gonna fuck a nigga for fame? Like, you don't think that's weird? You just fuck a random person for fame, bro? Like, you let somebody in your body, you don't know that person.
This is a happily married man with kids, and they're still pursuing him like this. So imagine what they're doing to the young, fresh, newly millionaire young men who are just hitting the scene. The athletes, the musicians, the actors, whatever field it may be, especially when it's a field where you have a public image, you're at high risk of falling prey to these type of tricks. And just to give you another example of how desperate some of these women can be, watch this clip.
If she wanna be a hoe, let her go. I'm gonna let the hoe do what she do. Vaughn on 1700 said it best. That ain't your girl, my brother. Let her go. Let her go, gang. And y'all see how she actually fought multiple times.
Yeah, that's where the relationship would have ended. And look, obviously this isn't every lady out there who's a fan of a guy with some status. I'm not saying that at all. But a lot of these ladies will act super fanned out about these celebrities. But at the end of the day, all they see them as is a check. And in a situation where, let's say, one of these celebrity guys actually takes a liking to one of these girls, if they're ever in a situation where they could stand to gain some profit or, you know, some financial gain, they're more than likely gonna go with that route. And I don't think you guys understand how aggressive these ladies are. It got to the point where you got artists like Drake pouring hot sauce inside their used glizzy wrapper. This dude was literally afraid that the girl would go inside the trash.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a fan of Drake, but I gotta respect him for that.
can and find a way to insert the magic fluid inside herself. Do you know the experiences you have to go through for you to even start thinking like that? That man was acting off straight PTSD. Like, I'm pretty sure Drake has seen a lot of crazy stuff, especially when dealing with these girls. And if you want another example to really be convinced, we have the Omalay situation. If you don't know who Omalay is,
this shit, I forgot about this.
He had this concert where this girl who was with her boyfriend basically left her boyfriend to get on stage with Omalay. And what proceeded to go down was kind of crazy.
The motherfuckers in the crowd pushing.
Watch as Shorty tries to throw a back on dude and then he swerves past her. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Not only on her part, but on her man's part. So not only is she disloyal, but she's also getting curved.
Bitch, the fuck you looking at? You pushed her too.
Bro's soul looks destroyed. I don't even know how he kept it together because I personally would have crashed out. And now that you guys understand how desperate
like that was me,
can get, I hope it also makes it easier to understand that some of these young millionaires could also be victims. A perfect example is the Xavier Worthy situation. Xavier Worthy is an NFL football player. So basically the story goes, around the time he was getting drafted into the NFL, he hired a private investigator to investigate his then girlfriend. He finds out that she's cheating, goes to his home and finds her with the dude. And basically as he was trying to kick her out, she fakes assault, injures herself and orchestrates a whole scene. I'm talking she wrecked the house to make it seem like he put hands on her, when in truth, she's the one who put hands on him. She even ripped out some of his dreadlocks.
Damn. I fucking how strong and angry you gotta be to rip out a fucking lock. I'm tugging on my shit, that shit ain't pulling.
Bro went above and beyond with the proposal. She walking up all emotional. I wonder in that moment if the stuff she was doing behind his back was going through her head. Yeah, not gonna lie.
Hell nah. She just thinking about the bread.
All this tells me is no matter how you are, no matter how successful, no matter how many zeros.
Nigga, if God couldn't get Adam, if God couldn't get Eve to follow Adam, what makes you think us regular motherfuckers won't? Yeah, I get the point. If God can't save them, how the fuck can we save them?
If your girl is going, she's going, bro.
All I gotta say is, bro, it's kind of messed up to think like this, but excuse me, she ain't yours. It's just your time. You just gotta enjoy your time. If she cheats on you, you know, go ahead, move on, work on yourself. It's part of life. Damn.
Bro. And once she realized that she basically messed up her bag, that she lost her meal ticket and was exposed, claiming domestic abuse was basically her last-ditch effort to get back at him. And that's why I'm not surprised. Shoot, I'm a little bit proud when these athletes do stuff like this.
He can do that. He's a kid who's very explosive. He'll take that big hit, hold on to the football, knows how to.
That's his phone?
In that defense. Obviously, come out of Oklahoma, they schemed to get him the football.
The fuck she recording for?
Brief intermission. I'm trying to get to 100K subs, so I'd appreciate if you like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I got you.
Channel 40 Shams Live.
Oh, I'm already subscribed.
Discord and follow me on Instagram. Love y'all. More of these young successful guys gotta do a better job of looking out for themselves, setting those boundaries and being on their P's and Q's, especially if they're not married to these girls. At the end of the day, a girlfriend is just a title. Anyone could wake up any day and just decide not to be your girlfriend or boyfriend. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do the same thing in a marriage, but it's a little bit harder because now there's paperwork, property, possibly kids. Although the guy still has a lot more to lose, the wife could also stand to lose some things if the husband set up the contract in a way that protects him. And I also can't forget to mention the parents who look out for their kids, especially the mothers who do stuff like this.
So the Titans get themselves a big tackle in Isaiah Wilson from Georgia. Came from Brooklyn Poly Prep Country Day. Need a little time to adapt to the heat.
Motherfucker just got yanked out.
Playing at Georgia, and now
A great example is Jaden Daniels' mom, and I do understand that a lot of people say that she does too much and that she's too controlling and that she might possibly have a weird relationship with her son.
I mean,
I totally understand, but all I'm gonna say is at no point is he gonna stop being her baby boy. And when it comes down to it, I would much rather his mom being overprotective about him than him being played by some girl or getting into a situation that could possibly ruin his career. All I'm gonna say is LeVar Ball didn't make the Ball brothers through gentle, hands-off parenting. You gotta understand with the parents of these athletes, they've invested a lot of time and effort into their kids to make them into the stars that they are.
Right, and I'll be damned to see my kid get going. I'll be damned to see my son go down for fucking a grape charge. I'll be damned to see my son go down for a grape charge or a sexual assault or something, or SA, my bad.
I'll never blame them for being overprotective with their kids. That's literally their investment.
I've been training them boys since they've been 2 years old.
Okay, so even before that?
Before that.
Okay.
All my boys were potty trained before 10 months. I give them the ghetto Olympics. What I mean by that, in the living room, I didn't have no couches and stuff. I had a table. Let them jump off the table and see if they can land on that mat without falling down.
I feel like this nigga capping, but something about this nigga is just like, I gotta believe him.
I don't want everybody to say I'm putting it on record. My son can date. He can live freely, makes his own decisions. However, the relationship we have, he does value my opinion because, you know, when my kids were little, I did a lot for them. So, and my kids saw that. My father, my background.
Damn, she bad.
It's hard to allow
I'm sorry. That's somebody's mom. I apologize.
You know, take it away. So I have a view of what I feel.
But she is a beautiful woman, though.
You know, but my son is 24, and he does have to go through things. He has to learn on his own.
You know, you
don't have to be my mom.
Protecting him. You said predators, also protecting him from women who can be predators. And we've seen that all through sports. We see it after their careers. We see it in business.
And I'll put this in street terms. I don't mean to be disrespectful about what I'm about to say. But I took it as she said, this nigga's slow. This nigga's going to be, they going to get this nigga. So I got to stay by this nigga's side.
He doesn't know what he doesn't know. And he knows football. That's what he's been doing. And he does it very well. And he's been, you know, very acclimated in sports since he was young. But he doesn't know the business world. He doesn't know the predators or the vultures that could be out there.
Especially in the business game.
Very comfortable at knowing that not only am I educated and qualified to do it, I'm also his mom.
And you see, mothers like Regina are the same ones who prevent situations like the one that's going on with Anthony Edwards. Now, I don't mean to speak ill of Anthony Edwards' family because I know his mom passed away, but I'm sure if he had a strong female presence, a strong female relative in his life, she would have played a role in preventing him from getting multiple women pregnant and from getting a woman who has multiple children with other men and is known for her predatory practices pregnant. Keep in mind, this lady is significantly older than him.
I read comments that say, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with to the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you? Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for a couple extra $100 in food stamps, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for an extra Section 8 voucher. Is that why you kept your baby?
What if they not broke?
That's how I feel every time somebody says, do you even love that baby? You kept that baby for a check.
Grammarly's proactive, automatic writing suggestions are great, but sometimes you just want to tell Grammarly how to help. Good news?
Is this nigga even real? What the fuck?
You can click
Oh yeah, baby. I'm on one tonight. We gonna talk about it. Cause see, I sat back and...
I mean, if you got a track record just getting pregnant by rich niggas,
I watched y'all in your dirty bonnets, lay back on your headboards, or in your cars with the cloth seats.
What's wrong with cloth
I
seats?
saw you. And you voiced your opinion about what you would have did.
Hey. At least when it's hot as fuck this summer, I'm not gonna burn my ass off with my cloth seats.
If you were in my situation, with my options that you do not have, and you probably never will, how you gonna tell me what you would have did with my situation when you had a baby for your weed man?
I'm a man
you had a baby
though.
for that dude that be robbing everybody.
I mean, you see, he getting money though.
You had a baby for the booster. Or you had a baby for the dude that you have to run down for $250. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Keep in mind, she didn't deny any allegations. She basically just told everyone, you're mad that you couldn't do what I did, huh? You can't be as pretty, you can't be in the same position to be able to take advantage of these young men. If that's not a sad existence, I don't know what is. And the saddest part about this whole situation is that they brought a baby into the world that neither of them really wanted. And the thing is, all this stuff is on the internet. So one of these days, that baby's gonna grow up,
You see all that shit, bro.
and then realize, oh, my parents didn't actually want me. And Anthony Edwards made it super clear that he doesn't want anything to do with the kid, because he not only gave up custody, but he paid all 18 years of child support payments. All that.
Oh, that's this nigga?
I think a whole separate conversation in general needs to be had about older people going out.
Not gonna lie, it's fucked up in both situations, because like, me personally, if you don't want the kid, right? If you're not planning on having kids, why are you fucking girls wrong? You know, at the end of the day, it's your body. Do what you want to do. But here's my point. Stop sleeping on all these women, bro. You're a high value target. Of course they gonna want to have kids with you, gang. Second of all, just have one girl in life. That's all you need. Running over all these girls, it's not worth it. You're gonna be having 100 baby mamas, 100 different diseases, bro. It's not worth it. And second of all, if you're just fucking things, just if you view kids as a way of an income, that's kind of fucked up. Both of y'all need it.
After much younger people. For example, the situation with Shannon Sharp and the spicy content creator Gabby Zuniga. Like, the timing seems a little bit strange, you know, just after he just signed a $100 million deal, and all of a sudden she's claiming that he did something to her, especially when you consider the already overly freaky relationship that they had. I mean, she allegedly texted him, "I want you to put a big black baby in me." Is that not crazy to say in the big 2025? And then on the other side, we got Tracy Ellis Ross claiming
that nigga
she
gay?
likes younger men.
Often I date younger men, and a lot of it is because
Let's stop on that, folks.
And that Michelle?
oh my god, we had a
Several
great dinner.
snaps
We
on
had
that.
And her little brother?
dinner, by the way, where across the table your husband goes, "But why?" And I said, "Well, maybe because I can."
Yes, Barish. This
No.
is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracy's.
It's fun. It's really fun to share.
Tracy tales.
But
I'm sorry.
But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah.
Because I want a partner, and so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who
So date somebody that's older.
lives a very full, just robust life. So
An older nigga can do that. An older nigga's probably more financially stable than these young niggas. Can take you on these adventures so y'all can be robust and adventurous.
it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference.
Then get an old nigga. He has more life experience.
But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than
Why am I getting mad, bro? This ain't even my life.
There's that.
There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship.
So you want the young niggas because they can easily be controlled. Am I hearing shit
and
now?
Anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
And I mean, after watching that, I guess she might have some valid reasons.
Yeah, she does. She
At the
does.
same time, there's no way that there aren't any men her age who are attractive and also have a progressive mindset. And I also just want to call out the double standard, because imagine a man said something like this about younger women. I know bros getting bashed all over the internet. They're calling this man a creep, a freaky frog, all types of crazy stuff. And I mean, that's basically what they're doing to Shannon Sharp. But honestly, the way it's looking, that might be a topic that I have to make a whole separate video for. But to wrap up the video, I find it super sad that there are people who are willing to pretend like they care or that they love some of these young successful men just to take advantage of them. And it's crazy because once they get them where they want them, once they get that financially well-off person,
fuck, we did not talk about Brittany Runner?
Like claim abuse or keep a baby that neither of them actually want just to have some sort of control over that person. And they always end up tarnishing their reputation and villainizing them online. A somewhat similar example of this is the DDG and Holly situation. And yes, I know Holly has her own money, but I feel like a lot of the stunts that she pulled were done with the intention of trying to control DDG. For example, when she went to Twitter and tweeted about how DDG has their son on Kai Cenat's stream. Even the way she worded that tweet was in a way to make DDG look bad. I don't approve of my baby being on stream tonight, and I am extremely upset to have my baby in front of millions of people. Keep in mind, she
Did you
also
tell the
posts her
baby
son
daddy?
on her social medias, which gets viewed by millions of people.
But everybody knows Moo's the best daddy to him, but I miss him so much. Everybody knows Moo's the best daddy.
Who the fuck is Moo?
I miss him so much.
Oh, what do I care?
Not that men can't, but you know.
No, he's such an amazing dad. It's literally the sweetest thing in the world. Because we've always... Oh yeah, I mean, he's a great dad, but I always knew that he would be like this, you know. We had talked about it before. And yeah, that's just the type of person he is. So Halo is really lucky.
Not only did she praise the type of father he is, she also praised the type of person he is. So logically speaking, I don't know where this shift would come all of a sudden where he would just disregard his son's safety, when it would just no longer be his priority. And I also don't know how him being on a stream compromises that safety. Halo is literally all over her social media page, which gets millions of views. See him right there, see him right there, see him right there, right there. And I bet we'll see more of him if you scroll down. He's right there, right there. And then we got the news that came out a few days ago. Holly claims that DDG got physical with her and she put a restraining order on him. And now she's using the courts to limit how much he can see Halo. Limited to 6 hours a week.
Damn.
People always scream, believe the victim. But when you have stuff like the Amber Heard case, and you have stuff like Xavier Worthy's case.
My thing is, I know we all got free will, but why the fuck are we invested in their life? I'm just watching this like,
And I hate to bring this up, but Emmett Till's case. At some point, we gotta learn to be a little bit more patient. For example, I've seen so many comment sections that said,
right. I see a lot of people on TikTok saying, oh, he didn't. Oh, he didn't do it. My thing is, just wait till the paperwork comes out. That's all we gotta do. Just wait till the paperwork and the evidence comes out. Then we make her, you feel me, our final verdict or decision.
He presented concrete evidence, that's why she got a restraining order. But I bet you guys never knew this.
Haley Bailey did not secure a restraining order against DDG. That is not what happened. A judge in LA granted her what is called a temporary protective order, which is an entirely different thing than an actual restraining order. And
I did not hear this.
Effort, time, or standard of proof as an actual restraining order. In my
fuck, blow my phone up.
Finding out just what the process of acquiring a restraining order in the state of California is like, I came across a few things that were very interesting. First of all, you can't just file for a restraining order. You have to first file for a temporary restraining order or a temporary protective order, as it's called sometimes. And those are fairly easy to get. In fact, usually within a 24-hour period, a judge takes on your case and decides if you're deserving of a temporary protective order. And the reason I say that they're fairly easy to obtain is because, one, the person being filed against doesn't even have to be present, so they're not an actual court proceeding. And two, the judge that grants the temporary restraining order doesn't have to be...
Oh, I'm thinking about fucking New York.
Clear and convincing evidence is not required for a temporary restraining order, which is, as you can see, not as strict as the proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And you can see that's the case. If you look at the pictures that TMZ apparently acquired magically from the legal proceedings of this entire thing,
how the fuck did TMZ get that shit?
Beyond a reasonable doubt. They're only proof that...
That should look edited. I don't know. I don't know.
There's no real way to prove that DDG was the one that inflicted all that damage. And by the way, as a quick side note, I'm being sarcastic about TMZ because I know for a fact that Rock Nation has used TMZ as a propaganda tool multiple times in the past. If you know, you know. But we'll talk about that later. Back to the main point. Now, the temporary restraining order, if it is granted by the judge, only lasts about 2 to 3 weeks, usually. And the reason it lasts only that long is because it's kind of a way to create some kind of a buffer, a separation between the two parties until a proper court hearing, where it would actually be determined with a higher standard of proof if a more permanent restraining order would be necessary going forward, which can take up to 5 years in some cases. So basically, in about 3 weeks from now, Haley has to be with DDG in court to prove to a judge that she actually does need that restraining order.
Bro, imagine she posts up fucking bruises and shit on her.
And it'll be her lawyers.
How long do those bruises last?
To make that case to the judge. And what do you know, after doing a little more digging, I found out that they do have a court date. It's June the 4th, which is about 3 weeks from now. So in conclusion, this whole thing is being blown way out of proportion. DDG is not in trouble at all. I'm not saying he's necessarily in a good place.
Yeah, we're not saying he's not guilty.
At best. And a judge in LA granting a temporary restraining order to Haley Bailey is not proof that DDG actually did anything. Again, we have to remember, there's different standards of proof and evidence in the court of law. I did some more research and found out you could get a temporary restraining order based off of hearsay. No joke. Just get a couple of your buddies to say the same thing you're saying in writing or on audio, and boom, TRO. Now, as for my personal opinion, do I actually believe there was some kind of physical altercation between the two of them? Yeah. Do I think that the courts may find a way to separate the two from each other? Absolutely. But do I think that Haley Bailey and Rock Nation will get the court to see DDG as such a deplorable human being that she will be granted full custody of their kid? Absolutely not.
Money.
And honestly, the reason for that is how restraining orders work, especially when there's a kid involved. Even if she's somehow able to prove to the court that DDG was violent against her, it doesn't show intent to harm the kid.
And look, I'm not by any means saying that you shouldn't believe the victim. I don't support any form of oppression. But it's innocent until proven guilty. You have to give both parties the benefit of the doubt. This guy isn't gonna go into hiding or something, or, you know, evade the American government. If he's in the wrong, he's gonna pay for what he did. But we as a society have to make sure that we have concrete evidence. Especially when it comes to cases involving men. Because as a man, if your name is even anywhere close to something like this, you face irreparable damage. Even if you're proven innocent, you'll lose so many opportunities, and a lot of people will never look at you the same. And that's just the sad reality. And I'm still shocked that people can see Holly say stuff like this and not think to question that there might be a deeper
What she say?
That there might be more nuance to this situation.
In a relationship, I think I have anxious attachment style. Everybody knows I'm an Aries, I'm a fire sign. I get very passionate. I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. I'm good at that, right? And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do.
Damn, she gotta track this sister. But I heard what she said though.
Clap back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry. I'm a very kind person. But if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries. Sorry. Never have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason.
Put it down.
Even the sister snitching.
I've, you know.
Fake ass pizza.
I'm territorial. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm a territorial girlfriend. Where you go, who are you with? That's me.
You know, I don't think that's a problem. She showed like she. I don't know. I don't mind answering those questions. Will it get annoying? I don't know, because I've never been in that situation before.
I am nosy, number one. And number two, I like drama. I just don't like drama in my life, but I love watching it in other people's. So, I love my baby so much. I need him with me in order to function, in order to be able to do the scenes and everything. So, he's been out here with me majority of the time. But this week, and I go home on the weekends. But this week, I had a lighter week, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I got here last night, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I was like, let me try to test myself and see if I can be without him for a day and leave him, let him and his daddy have daddy and son time. And you guys, I miss him so much. But everybody knows Moo's the best daddy to him, but I miss him so much. Yesterday on the plane, I was crying, and I went to, you know, the little airport stores. I bought a teddy bear and I was like clutching it to my chest. I bought a Build-A-Bear and a blanket and I was clutching it to my chest. Literally on the plane last night crying to not feel like miserable without him. I love him so much, guys. I don't know how this is possible. Anyway.
And again, I have to repeat, I'm not saying don't believe the victim. I'm just saying let the justice system do what it does. And then once all the evidence comes out and we get a verdict, then you guys can go ahead and hate on that individual. But until then, at least give them the benefit of the doubt and don't try to destroy their life.
It's fact.